Hello, we're the Grateful Turners. I'm James Turner. This is my wife, Courtney. Today we're going to talk about, are you a distant wife? And also, what do you do when the time comes and you have to decide from right and wrong?
We walked into a church recently, and it was great. Everyone was there smiling, and the sermon was good, but we left there and we're like, we can't put our finger on it, but something was just missing. And then we got to talking about intimacy, and we kind of compared it to like a wife. Okay, so husband and wife, that she's like, don't touch me in public. I don't hold hands, no kisses. So it's like she kind of goes through the motions, but she's not emotionally present. And our relationship with Jesus will not really be a true relationship unless we're emotionally
You
present.
have to be diligent. So when a man wants to give his wife some sugar in public or hold her hand and she's pushing back, and see, the bad thing is that some people experience that, and it sometimes ends in a failed marriage. And so you have to be willing to have that intimacy. And the same thing is with God. Are we saying, God, hey, I'm cool with talking to you every now and then, or if I'm struggling or whatnot, but you want me to spend like personal time with you? That's a little too much. And then if I were to grab my wife's hand, and just try to hold it when we're walking around, she's like, like she's disgusted by me or something. That's definitely not who we want to make the God that created us feel. Do we want him to feel like we're disgusted by him? Of course not. And then another thing is we just got done watching the end of Tears of the Sun, and where Bruce Willis is in it, and we just got to see the tail end. But if you're faced with a decision to do right and wrong, they were protecting a village of people in Africa or somewhere from essentially being mutilated against their higher powers' wishes. They wanted them to get out of there, but he said, I can't leave these people. We have to protect them.
The final credit said the only way that evil men triumph is if good men do nothing.
And in our case, it needs to say, when godly men do nothing. When people that yearn to be godly men do nothing. And Leviticus, I was reading this morning, he says, I am God. And if your neighbor's about to be killed or about to be hurt, you need to protect them. I am God. So he's saying I said this, I am God. And so what are you going to do in that moment when we're told that, hey, we can't be Christians anymore, or we got to put a chip in our hand? Are you going to be a wimp, or are you going to stand up and do what's right? So people talk all big, we talk all big on Facebook. What are we going to do? I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to stand up for what's right. And I believe that you will too. I'm not going to say, oh, everybody needs to stand up. Well, what does that mean? You stand up when the time comes. When the time comes, that's when the test is. So you're going to be a distant wife to God? I promise you, you don't want that to happen, because you don't want him to be a distant husband to you. We are the bride. We are the church. You don't want to be distant. You want to tell him you love him. He made you. He is everything. He gave you everything, your job, the air that you breathe. When I hear, some people talk about work, well, without work, I wouldn't have nothing. Whatever, man. Work is not made to be, filled with anger and anxiety. It's made to be joyful and awesome and incredible. And God gave it to you. I built that. Well, who gave you the air in your lungs, man? God did. So are you going to be a distant husband or a distant wife with your spouse? Don't do it. Change, be diligent, and be the same way with God. We, the church, are the bride. Be diligent about showing God love and showing him that we're grateful for everything that he's given us. It's not a joke. James 4:14 says we're but a mist. We're going to be here for a little while and then we're gone. You're nothing. God is everything. So show him what he means. And that's it. So be diligent about being not a distant wife or a husband, and don't be distant to God. In Jesus' name.